Hey there, seekers of the truth. Welcome back to Lost Files. Tonight, we're not just talking about missing people, we're talking about impossible disappearances, the kind of cases that shatter the known rules of physics and human behavior. If you caught our last deep dive, you saw the breathtaking, yet subtly menacing parts of Montana. Beneath that beauty, forces are at play that the mainstream refuses to acknowledge. You need to be factually aware of what is happening in our world, what is just beyond the veil of normal perception. Tonight, we open the missing files, and we've got some absolute mind-benders for you. A lot has been happening lately, and many of you, our incredible community, have been sending in tips. That's crucial because 99.9% of the time when a person goes missing, it never makes the national news. It takes someone paying attention, seeing that classic 411 profile match, and sending it our way. I want to emphasize this. I am listening, and I am paying attention. The final case we cover tonight is a landmark case, a 10x411 profile case, and it only came to me because of your vigilance. I should note that I'll be referencing a genuine, physical newspaper for that story. That's how we navigate the deep waters of copyright. We go old school, we talk to the original reporter, and we make absolutely certain the facts are 100% accurate, verified in 3 dimensions. But first, let's get into the files that set the stage for this kind of impossibility. We start tonight with correspondence from a highly respected source. Someone who holds a federal position, a former disabled veteran, someone who understands procedures and scrutiny. They asked for anonymity, and as always, my source is sacred. I will never break that trust. This is a story of a lifetime, starting in childhood near Dyess Air Force Base in Texas, a key military installation. This person wrote that as an infant, they were very sick, with their mother vaguely referencing something deeply unsettling about their blood. That strange detail about their blood is just the prologue to the core event. At about 5 years old, they awoke from a nap to find what they could only describe as a glowing being. No remembered features, just intense, pure light. They screamed, and their parents, desperate to normalize the event, simply dismissed it as a guardian angel. But what if it wasn't an angel? What if it was a scout, an observer, marking them for future interaction? Fast forward years later, our source is an adult, walking outside their mom's country home with their youngest son. At some point, without warning, they both look up, and there it is, a triangle-shaped thing, massive and silent. It was moving impossibly slow for an object of that size, without a single sound or discernible wind displacement. This was not the typical military shape. This one had small, precise lights at each point. Here is where the dimensional rift element slams into the story. Neither of them remembers anything past that point of seeing the silent triangle. No memory of going back inside the house, no memory of returning home, just a blank slate of time. Our source thought it was just a vivid, unshakable dream until years later, when their son brought up the chilling question, "Do you remember the triangle?" The floodgates broke after that conversation, confirming the shared, traumatic memory gap. What kind of phenomenon erases a section of shared memory simultaneously in 2 connected individuals? Was it a momentary, surgical alien abduction that left no physical evidence? Was the object itself a momentary dimensional rift, and the sight of it caused a lapse in their shared linear experience? The terrifying question remains, when you lose time, where exactly does that time go? Let's transition now and talk about the clusters. Specifically, the terrifying pattern unfolding right now in Austin, Texas, involving multiple deaths in the city's lake. I've been following this closely, and I'll say it plainly. The pattern emerging matches one of the most baffling clusters ever researched by Lost Files. The profile is rigid. Men, often drinking, go missing, and are later found in a body of water. The crucial, terrifying detail is always the same. Not one of these men has ever been witnessed entering the water. How is that possible in a populated urban environment? We're talking about a phenomenon I've investigated across 16 countries, including the strange pusher cases in Manchester, UK. In winter, men are found miles upstream in frozen rivers, where the temperatures are well below freezing, and there are absolutely no tracks in the snow leading to the water. As we've discussed, these bodies are not walking. They are being dropped. They are appearing in locations they should not be able to reach on their own, often without a determined cause of death. This global pattern suggests a level of coordinated removal and deposit that defies the notion of a conventional serial killer. We are forced to consider an unseen, hyper-efficient force, a mechanism of disappearance that operates silently, selecting victims based on a defined profile. Is the dimensional rift theory at play, spitting the bodies out into the nearest large water source? Is it an unknown cryptid or perhaps an interdimensional entity that prefers the proximity of deep water? The fact that some early New York investigators noticed bodies found near strange graffiti, the smiley face killers theory, suggests that something is leaving a signature, a mocking indication of its presence. We need to zoom out to 30,000 feet to see the full, terrifying scope of the phenomenon, beyond local jurisdiction. Now we move to a place of unparalleled beauty and unparalleled danger, Yosemite National Park. Let me say this again for the record. Yosemite is the #1 cluster spot in the world for disappearances. Do not go there alone, and do not go there without a personal locator beacon. The stories that emerge from this park consistently involve the utterly impossible. We received a letter from someone who practically lived in Yosemite during the summers of the 60s and 70s. What they described in their letter is nothing short of horrifying, a direct threat from the land itself. In 1975, while climbing the Mist Trail, they stopped to rest, overlooking a massive boulder field. That is a key profile point for missing cases, by the way, the direct association with these fields of large, jagged rocks. They saw 3 deer walking, and then, without warning, one of the boulders raised up. It didn't roll. It lifted, and something underneath, unseen, grabbed one of the deer by the leg. The animal was gone instantly. No noise, no struggle, just consumed by the earth. Our source said it reminded them of a gigantic trapdoor spider, an ancient, subterranean hunter. This is not a Bigfoot, and this is not a traditional UFO. This suggests an intelligent, camouflaged entity, a cryptid of a massive scale, or perhaps an entire, hidden, subterranean ecosystem existing beneath the rocks. The woods are consuming its prey in an instant, suggesting a horrifying hunting mechanism that utilizes the very geology of the land. Our source is still freaked out by boulder fields to this day, and who could blame them? The Yosemite file continues. In 1976, near Little Yosemite Valley, in a marshy area, they heard a muffled noise. On the trail, they found a pair of clean baby booties. They walked further and found a crumpled, equally clean baby blanket. As they went to pick it up, they looked up and saw another item being thrown midair from the marshy area, further down the trail. They dropped the blanket and ran. They felt intensely that they were being lured, baited by something intelligent and unseen. These two events, separated by a year, point to the same cold, calculating malevolent intelligence. Is it a skinwalker type of entity using a human lure to draw people in? And the response from the National Park Service? Silence. Our government refuses to acknowledge any of this. They won't discuss the UFO sightings in Yosemite. They won't discuss the Bigfoot reports. And they certainly won't discuss the pattern of people vanishing near these terrifying boulder fields. This refusal to talk about the history of the park itself is as suspicious as the disappearances. Now we arrive at the case that truly breaks the mold, the modern example of the impossible. The surreal return of Robert Hagman. I want you to pay close attention because this one hits every single profile point we discuss. The victim, Robert Hagman, 78 years old, with early-stage functional dementia, a key medical profile point. Mr. Hagman went missing at 8 p.m. on January 30th of this year from his son's home in Beaver Creek, Ohio. His vehicle was found the next morning, 10 miles away, parked at an entertainment complex. It was surrounded by flat, plowed farm fields, and critically, it was just south of Grand Lake, the only large body of water in the area. Water proximity? Check. The search that followed was textbook. The Mercer County Sheriff's Department and all surrounding agencies did everything right, sparing no expense. They used ground pounders, ATVs, canine units, and deployed a private airplane and the State Highway Patrol helicopter with FLIR technology. They put advanced drones in the sky, covering the territory extensively. They searched a 2-mile by 2-mile area, flying repeatedly over the massive, plowed, flat field right next to the complex. The sheriff was rightfully frustrated, stating that they felt they absolutely should have found him given the resources they used. This was a flawless search operation in a non-wilderness area. And here is the part that will just kick you in the face. Mr. Hagman went missing on January 30th. On April 20th, 2023, 2.5 months later, 1,135 feet from his car, in the middle of that flat, plowed field, a farmer found Mr. Hagman's body. The field was confirmed to look exactly as it did during the intense, comprehensive searches. The sheriff, a man of integrity, stated, "We're frustrated. I can't explain it how we missed him." He concluded there was no indication of foul play. "I will tell you now, that dog don't hunt. You cannot convince me that all those resources, FLIR, drones, ground teams, missed a 156-pound body lying in the middle of a wide-open, plowed field. Furthermore, you are not going to convince me that someone, at night, carried a dead body over 1,000 feet into an open field next to a major highway without being seen. That is absolutely ludicrous. The logical, albeit terrifying, conclusion is that the body was not there the entire time. It was placed there." Mr. Hagman's case is a stark, modern example of a dimensional rift or alien abduction scenario. He was taken, held, and then precisely placed back in a high-visibility, previously searched location. This entity, whatever it is either incredibly brazen or simply does not recognize our human laws of probability and physics. I am intensely interested in the coroner's official date of death. If he died soon after disappearing, the decomposition should have been significant, yet no one saw him for 2.5 months. We owe the Mercer County Sheriff's team immense credit for their work, but they shouldn't hold themselves accountable. You didn't miss the body. It simply wasn't there to be found. The Elizabeth Lidbeck case from 1930, though over 90 years old, sets the historical stage for this kind of impossibility in a specific region. She was an 80-year-old, active resident on a family farm in Felch, Michigan, in the heart of the Gwynn and Crystal Falls state forest areas. This entire region is a notorious cluster zone with a high degree of strangeness. Felch is alarmingly close to the site of the infamous Kinross UFO/jet disappearance over Lake Superior, where an Air Force jet took off to intercept a UFO and vanished forever. Lidbeck was last seen at 2 p.m. She missed the 5 p.m. dinner. A massive 3-week search ensued, covering the fields, barn, and even draining local gravel pits, a colossal effort for 1930. The search was abandoned by the end of the summer, leaving the family forever haunted by her disappearance from their very own land. When you place the Lidbeck file next to the Hagman file, a century apart, the patterns become clear. The swift removal from a safe area, the intensive but futile search, and the location near an area known for dimensional anomalies. All of the pieces to the puzzle come together here. A force that has been active for at least a century, operating globally, taking people quickly, and sometimes dropping them back into places we know they weren't. We are dealing with an intelligence that is both ancient and technologically advanced, capable of manipulating time, space, and memory. This case is a wake-up call, confirming that the most unbelievable theories might be the only ones that actually fit the facts. We must continue to share these files and connect the dots. In the meantime, be nice to the people in your community, and if you see somebody in distress, help them. Do something nice for someone today. It doesn't hurt you. Be friendly. Thanks for supporting Lost Files and allowing us to explore the truth behind the veil. Please share this video. This is an important one, folks. This is a crucial piece of evidence that the impossible is happening right now. Until next time, we'll see you soon.